I just want to touch on the basics that we've already gone over in class in DFT 154. I've opened Creo and I've already selected my working directory. So remember, you should be selecting your working directory as the first thing you do as soon as you open the program. You'll select your folder that's associated with the class, DFT 154. And I've already given my part a name. This is the U block off of the Solid Modeling Basics worksheet that was handed out in class. So to begin, I am going to go into Sketcher mode. So I'm going to select Sketch, but before I do that, I want to be specific about the plane that I'm sketching on. So I'm turning on all of my datums so that I can see them. And trying to get them on the screen here, there we go. And I'm going to select the top datum. So if I select that over my model tree, it'll highlight in my graphics window. And then I can select Sketch, and that will put me in Sketcher mode. And I want to orient my view by selecting on the Sketch view on our floating graphics toolbar. And this is where I will sketch the profile of my U block. So I'm first going to begin using a center rectangle, and I will click or snap on the intersection of the two default sketch references in my default template. And I will go ahead and drop my rectangle in there and middle click. Once I middle click, the solid area inside the shape will shade in the light orange color, and my weak dimensions will automatically come up for me. So once I go in here and change these dimensions to my actual preferred dimensions, they will then become strong dimensions, and I can tell this because the dimensions are a darker shade of blue. So once I have that initial triangle, or excuse me, that initial rectangle inserted, I can come up here and add my second rectangle, and I'm going to use a corner rectangle because I want to snap to this middle sketch reference and then pull down to the opposite corner and snap onto the bottom edge of my previous rectangle there. And then I'll middle click. One thing I'll immediately notice when I middle click is none of the area is shaded in orange, which means I will not be able to successfully extrude this shape because I have more than one closed loop. Okay, so if I'm going to go and hit OK here for a second so that I can turn off my datums and get a better look at my sketch, and you'll notice that I actually have one closed shape that shares edges with another closed shape, and Creo will not allow us to extrude a sketch that is created this way. So I'm going to go back and edit definition of my sketch, reorient my sketch view, and I'll use the delete segment button to remove the edges that I do not want. I'll middle click, and now I've got a nice orange shading here which tells me that I can extrude this area as solid material. So I want to continue by refining my dimensions. There should actually be a 3, and these two edges here on the bottom, according to the worksheet, are of equal length. Therefore I will select the equals constraint, select 1, 2 lines. So now my L1 will appear, showing me that they are both of equal length. And these are all the dimensions I need. I've got my 5, my 3 here on the bottom, and then as a result I have equal length sides on left and right. And that completes my sketch. So I can hit OK, and then I can select Extrude. I have sketch 1 selected in my model tree, so when I select Extrude, I can then give a third axis definition, or a third dimension. And as I've stated before, I like to try to keep my parts as centered up as possible. So I'm going to come up and select Extrude evenly on both sides, or extrude symmetrically, and that will allow extrusion on both sides of my sketch, an equal distance on both sides. And let's give this value of 2, enter, and I will check, and that completes my U block.